Hello everybody and welcome back to NCAA 2004, and we are here in week 4, I guess, or it's kind of like week 5, I guess. It's our 4th game. I never do the weeks for college football because it's always by the games, not so much the week, because there's bye weeks randomly. You get it. Either way, we are heading to Chapel Hill to play the North Carolina Tar Heels in North Carolina, of course. And I figured this would be a fun game to showcase because we haven't played too many opponents at the ACC and the Big East, this side of the country. And so, I figured it'd be fun to showcase this game, our last out-of-conference game before we get into the thick of things, get into the throes of our SEC schedule, which is bound to be very, very ruthless. Our game after this is pretty nutty that we will get to. After this, I won't spoil it. Or, you probably already know. You've seen the schedule. It's in the first video. Well, I don't know what I'm talking about. Either way, the only thing to say about UNC that's probably of note is that they're not good at the game of football. They're very not good. I did catch a glimpse of their schedule when I was editing this. They also played Virginia, who is number 3 right now. So this is now the second top 5 opponent that North Carolina has played in their first 4 games. And I'm pretty sure I couldn't see what the name of the team was in their first game, but they were also ranked. I think they were in the 20s, but they were also ranked. So they've got 3 ranked opponents here in their first 4 or 5 games. Just absolutely brutal. So that would explain why the Tar Heels are currently winless. But, hopefully we can hand them another one. As much as I don't want to just trounce on the Tar Heels, it would be nice to start off 4-0 and send the Tar Heels to 0-4, which is what we're shooting for. But late in the first quarter here, nothing has happened. And on the last play of the quarter, Tim Lewis flushed out of the pocket. He's going to get across midfield and pick up the first down and a heck of a lot more and get brought down at about the Tar Heel 36 or 37 yard line. And that is how the first quarter will end. It was a lot of back and forth, not a lot of offense going. Both teams crossed midfield a couple times here, but couldn't really do much after that. So 2nd and 7 now. Tim Lewis again going to try and run for it, uses legs, and he's going to pick up the first down. He says, hey, man, if no one's going to get open, I'll just keep running for it because it seems to keep working. So we're just going to stick with that strategy here. And it does work in getting a first down here, but on 2nd and 2 now, we're going to try and run the option in a late pitch to Lamont Farrell. Almost disaster, but Lamont Farrell able to get the ball and cut upfield. And look at this, very, very late pitch. Lamont Farrell almost didn't have it. Almost lost the ball here, but cuts upfield, gets a first down, and gets pushed out of bounds. And so now it's 1st and goal, but it's a long 1st and goal. We're going to hand off to Lamont Farrell, and that doesn't seem to be an issue because he's got the blocks, and he's got the running lane, and he is in the end zone for the touchdown. So it takes a while. It's probably the longest, I think. I don't even know if we've been shut out of a quarter like this. Out of all the games we sim, who knows? I'm sure in an SEC game we have, but it feels like it's been a while since we've been shut out of a quarter, at least for us watching these games. So on a punt now from UNC, and it's going to be fumbled, and Lamont Farrell is our return guy. So Lamont Farrell fumbles the football on a punt, and North Carolina is going to get some pretty prime field position here deep in our territory. So their quarterback, I forget, Booker I think is their quarterback's name, but either way, he finds an open receiver who evades our pressure, our defensive pressure, and gets into the end zone. So we'll get another look at this play here, as I was fumbling with the quarterback's name. But yeah, just a perfect clean pocket, and yeah, that's Blackwell just kind of lost there. George Leon was also out there, just couldn't really lay a play down defensively. So kind of a misstep from our defense there. So now we're tied at 7 apiece, fighting here with the Tar Heels. But Tim Lewis going to fire this one downfield, and it is caught by Chad Whitaker along the sidelines. I don't know how he kept one or even both feet in bounds, but he did. So good catch by Chad Whitaker, and now we are moving once again. So 1st and 10 here. Tim Lewis going to try and run for it again as pressure got in the backfield. He still had more than enough time to throw for it, but I guess he saw a good running lane, so he's like, screw it, dude. I'm going to run for it. Why not? And he's been running quite a lot in this game. He's got 108 yards in the season. I feel like about 40 or 50 of that's in this game. So cut to a 3rd down now, and Tim Lewis fires one to the corner of the end zone. That ball is bobbled, almost picked off, and somehow it ends up in Scotty Mitchell's hands. I have no idea how that happened. We're probably going to get another look at it. But that ball exchanged hands, so through the air, and look at that, man. That should have been an interception. That defender should have had it. I have no idea how that happened. I've never seen that in this game. I know in the later games, like at 05 and 06, they got a lot of deflections and batted ball interceptions and stuff, but that's not super common here in NCAA04, so, but we will happily take it. And now thanks to Chad Whitaker, we are moving the ball once again here inside UNC territory. Tim Lewis fakes the pitch here, and dude, that must have just thrown off their defense so tremendously. I have no idea how Chad Whitaker got behind all those guys. You had two guys essentially playing the same spot on the field in a zone, and maybe, I think the play fake just must have thrown them completely off, and that safety was just late getting over to Chad Whitaker. I mean, that was just brutal to watch. So first and 10 now for the Tar Heels. Just under a minute left to go as we're up 21-7, and it's another completion. So North Carolina, I've been cutting out a lot of the drives because, they haven't gone anywhere, but North Carolina has been able to move the ball at least somewhat in this first half. They haven't been completely a pushover. They have been able to do at least a little bit of something, you know what I mean? This is still a Power 5 team at the end of the day, or Power 6 team at the end of the day when it's all said and done. But getting down to 30 seconds, trying to run the hurry up here, and I hate when the CPU does this. They run the hurry up and then waste about 10 seconds off the clock, but either way, they are moving now, and a shot towards the end zone, and it is caught. So Mark Blackwell, man, is getting absolutely feasted on that side of the field, man. He's just really kind of lost out there. I don't know why. He's just struggling to lock down this receiver here. There's got to be at least like a 2 or 3 star receiver. Mark Blackwell just cannot seem to contain it. So 21-14 is the score here, but with 20 seconds left, Tim Lewis, after the kickoff here, deep shot downfield, and it's caught by Chad Whitaker, and the defender, he's lost in the sauce, and Chad Whitaker is able to just rely on his legs and his speed to get into the end zone, and it just takes one play to answer back to the Tar Heels again, and we extend back to a 14-point lead pending the extra point. So Tim Lewis, an absolute shot downfield. Yeah, look at that. I think that was that safety he was trying to, make a play for. He's so much bigger than Chad Whitaker, too. That's rare, but he's massive, man. But either way, it didn't matter because now we're up 28-14 after the first half of play here. And so we're going to move right along, and it's already 1st and 10 here off of the opening kickoff here. Tim Lewis drops back here and fires one. Another deep shot, man. We've just been taking those deep shots all game, and North Carolina just cannot seem really to do anything with it. So Scotty Mitchell here with the completion. I think it was Chad Whitaker again. But cut to a 3rd and inches now. Going to try and get a first down to extend the drive if possible. Going to try and go with a reversal here to Samples if I could get the full down to Thomas Samples, who is one of our new recruits this season. I think he was a 4-star. I think he's the 6th receiver in the country, but he helps us get the first down there. But either way, it wouldn't matter. Or maybe he was short. I couldn't tell. But we took a field goal. So 31-14 is the score. Took a field goal. I guess he was short. I thought he had gotten it, but I guess he was short. But either way, Tim Lewis, it wouldn't be a Tim Lewis game without one of these. So Falk finally gets himself an interception. After targeting that side of the field a few times, he said, no more. Chad Whitaker's not going to get any more, and he picks him off. But North Carolina can't do anything with it, so we get the ball pretty much right back where we started because of the punt. But so on that play, they're going to mark him short. That's a terrible spot. That's where the ref's going to spot that. That's a terrible spot. I think he caught that across the marker, okay? But Scotty Mitchell gets the first down here. So a cut to a 3rd and 5. Tim Lewis now dropping back. Going to fire this one to the left side. That one is batted again. That one very well should have been intercepted. We're very lucky that it wasn't intercepted. Looks like Falk maybe got his hands on it once again. So bring out John Bellamy for another field goal attempt here. And this time he nails it. Okay. All right. Or so we thought. So I thought. But no, that was a straight-up doink. So John Bellamy, his nightmare season continues. As remember in the last game, he really struggled with the extra points because of the torrential winds that we had. And then in this game, he big fat doink. Big old doink. So he did get the first one, but he misses that one. So the score will remain at 31-14 at the end of the third quarter. We've kind of silenced North Carolina on offense, but we haven't really started firing on offense either, so maybe that's going to change as Tim Lewis finds Scotty Mitchell to get inside the 20, and now we have another shot here. It's Brooks, not Booker. It's Brooks. See, yeah. 1st and 10 for Alabama here now, and Tim Lewis floats this one off to the backup tight end who we saw get some work in the previous game, and here he is, Carl Mann, getting some work here, the sophomore, getting in some work and getting inside the 5. So setting us up here for another scoring opportunity. So on 2nd and goal here, we're going to hand it off to Lamont Farrell, and there he goes, grabbing another one. Getting a couple here. Making up for his fumble earlier in the game here by grabbing another touchdown. So apologies for my spaciness on this game here. It's very early. I'm trying to get this one recorded before I leave at it down. But either way, Brooks now on offense for the Tar Heels, and he finds an open man to get inside the 20. And look at that passing comparison, man. Tim Lewis, that completion, it's gross. Over 300 yards, but it's gross. You know what I mean? North Carolina's still moving the football, and they get a completion very close to the sticks to the line to gain. I'm not sure if he got it. I don't think he did get it. So on 2nd and inches now, North Carolina going to try, and the quarterback Brooks has just lost it in the pocket, and he flips it out, and Rick Sloan has it. He's going the other way, and there's nobody with the kind of speed to match Rick Sloan. He's got it going the other way. There's no one there. I step into the end zone, and it's a huge pick six, a record-breaking pick six, 104 yards to the house. I can't believe that kind of blunder. Brooks didn't even really set out in the pocket. He just kind of I don't know, did that weird thing that this game does sometimes where the quarterback snaps and then runs forward and just kind of flips it over to the line of scrimmage. But either way, it ends up in a pick six for us and for Rick Sloan, more importantly. So we love seeing that. So on 1st and 10 here, Tim Lewis dropping back. Or actually, it's not Tim Lewis now. We have the backups in, guys. We officially have the backups in. And that is Stephen Bentley, our backup quarterback, who is a freshman, a redshirt freshman, mind you. And he finds Thomas Samples, who's able to get into the end zone with a big number 83 and the table and the angles, the visor. It's looking like Jamil Spears out there. It's looking like Jamil Spears. It's feeling like Chris Kelly, but looking like Jamil Spears, right? Or vice versa. It's feeling like Jamil Spears and looking like Chris Kelly. But, yeah, we would add on the points after that, and 55-14 would be the score. North Carolina wouldn't do anything else. For the remainder of the game, nothing else would happen. We would add a field goal, so John Bellamy would, get some more work in, but that would be it, as we had the backups in the later part of that game. So already we're getting the backups involved in this game early on, or rather in the season early on. So we do pick up our 4th straight win. We do, again, nail at a conference play. So maybe that's the trend. I talked about it in the last video about how we're going to try and play a bit more tougher teams, and I don't like the idea of playing other ranked teams at a conference. I don't like sabotaging our schedule before we really even get into it, because the SEC is already one of the toughest conferences in this game to play in. So already having 3 or 4 ranked opponents on the schedule and then adding one, I don't know about that. Maybe as we get further on, it'll make a little bit more sense, but still early on, I'm trying to kind of set the pace here, win as many championships, easily as we can, and then maybe after, getting closer to year 10, or maybe after year 10, we'll probably start mixing it up and seeing what we can do to kind of make things interesting. But good Lord, Scotty Mitchell and Chad Whitaker were just everywhere, man. Absolutely everywhere. So yeah, everyone kind of gets involved here in this game, as we were doing quite a bit here. A lot of people even picking up sacks here. So George Leon and Terrence Bates picking up sacks. John Bellamy here doing pretty decently well. But we're not going to sim any games here, because we have number 7 Arkansas next, folks. We got to go to Fayetteville, Arkansas, and play those Razorbacks in their home, man. Number 7 Arkansas. So we know how this series is. We've been a part of the series before. It's been an absolute mess every time we play them. We'll get into all the statistics and facts of this series in the next video when we play Arkansas. So I hope to see you guys in Fayetteville. We need everybody there to root on the Crimson Tide against Arkansas.